So I'm doing a house cleaning job. I'm listening to the Joe Rogan episode 2358 with Chadd Wright. Very entertaining, very interesting. He tells a powerful story of his testimony, and he's definitely as he calls it, a believer, very religiously Christian, and has had powerful experiences in his life with his faith. And so he starts telling his story, and it was a really very compelling story, very beautiful story about what he was like before he became a Christian and what he was like after. And then he starts kind of going into what I would call like the Christian talk that Christians kind of give about, well, there is no good thing in me except for Christ. And he starts talking about how depraved and how depraved humans are and how evil we are. And I don't know that he says the word evil, but it's basically this idea that there is just no good thing in humanity except for by the grace of God and Christ, and that the only purpose that we have as humans is when we die to become the bride of Christ and to glorify God. And I've been thinking about this because I don't think I agree. And I was raised in the church. My father's a minister. I was a true believer right up and through my early 20s, and had real authentic experiences with the Holy Spirit, with the divine. And then I left the church and traveled and met people from many different religions and experienced so much of the goodness of humanity and the divine and of love, and how powerful love can be, and how powerful the intention of helping people and love can be. And I just have to say, there is so much good in humanity, and there is so much good in the world, and I've experienced so much of it, especially as a traveler, through the generosity and kindness of complete and total strangers. And I am not a completely evil person. I do things sometimes where I look back and have to remind myself, like, man, I am not all good. I know that. I know that I do things as a human that I look at and go, wow, that was really a mistake, or that was, not my best moment, or even having moments where I'm like, man, I am such a not good person sometimes. But I also have moments where I do incredibly kind, loving, and generous things, and they are my offering to humanity, but it's also my delight. And, I've got to say that maybe it's selfishness. Sorry, I really need to get like a really good phone holder. Maybe it's selfishness because I understand the principles of the way it works in humanity. Maybe it's, selfishness because I understand that what we give out, we get back. And so I understand that by being generous, I am also allowing or opening the way for generosity to come my way. I understand that by having gratitude, I am allowing and opening the pathways for more good things to come my way. I understand that by giving grace to other people, I am opening the door for grace to come my way, because we reflect each other, and what we give out, we get back. And these are principles that I've learned, through other religious teachings as well. And what do you guys think? Do you guys think that there is no goodness in man except for the grace of God, and that only through Christ we can find salvation and goodness? Or do you think that God has a more expansive outlook? I think that as humans, we are very limited in our perspective in being able to see things. And I think that we put God into a box. I really do. And I understand that for people that are followers of Christ and very religious in the teachings of the church, there are groups of people who believe that only what's written in the King James Bible is what is correct. But I think that there is lots of truth in the Bible, lots of wisdom in the Bible. I think that the perspectives and the thoughts of the people that wrote those words were inspired, and I also think that there are divinely inspired works and poems and songs and scriptures written in other religions too, and that those teachings, I believe that there are seeds of these truths in all of the religions. And I understand that this is where I have a big divide from many mainstream Christians, and they would look at me and say that I'm going to hell. But I just have to say, I know that I'm not. I am very secure and in my connection with the divine, and I love the heart of Christ, and the heart of Christ loves me. And I think that the big shift came for me when I had a daughter, because when I had a child, as a parent, I understood love in a way that I never ever could have experienced it before. And I'm a quote-unquote imperfect human. If me as an imperfect human have the instinct and the understanding to say, I am here to teach my daughter, and when she makes a mistake, I am here to educate her about the mistake she made and give her an opportunity to correct that and to learn and to do it better the next time, that's what I'm here for, because there will be a time where she will be living her life without me, and it is my hope that she can make responsible decisions on her own without me. But I'm not going to say that the first time she makes a mistake, I'm going to chop off her head and doom her to eternal torment and punishment, and to say like, well, I'm just so perfect, I'm so divine that I just can't be around sin, and so I have to cast away anybody that's not perfect around me. I'm sorry, I can't get on board with it. I just can't. If me as a perfect human can understand how to love my child, I know in my bones that God or whoever, like, even if aliens created us, which I think there is like some possibility for that, or even if we're in a simulation or any of that, I think that there is this divine loving consciousness that can be called God kind of at the top of it all. I just don't see it. I just don't. And so maybe I'm going to burn in hell for this. Maybe people are going to say that I'm teaching people the wrong thing, and I'm not really here to teach anything. I'm really just here kind of having the conversation, because I just think love is so much bigger. And I just think that love does not care if you're gay or straight. I just don't think that love cares. I just don't think love cares. When I am singing and connected with other people, and my body is reverberating with the love of God and the love of humanity and the vibration and the pulses of love, that is indiscriminate. There is no energy, doesn't stop to go, well, what does your mind believe? It's there for anybody that wants to receive it and to open themselves to receive it. Now, does that mean that people can't find blessings and grace through the teachings of religion? Some people really want that structure. Absolutely. For people that find benefit in that, like, absolutely, I think that's wonderful. This man who is telling his story talks about the kind of person that he was before he was awakened to the truth of Christ within him, and instantly the next day was a different person. That he had cravings for things like pornography disappeared. He wasn't interested in, so he became a new creation. He became a different person, and he said there was no good thing in me before Christ. Maybe that's true for him, and I just have to say, I don't resonate with that. There are so many wonderful things. Cuddling with my child and holding her close and connecting, that is good. And you know, when my cat comes and purrs and sits on my chest, and she is reverberating love and opening my heart, and together our hearts are just opening together and pulsing because she's sending her energetic healing and I'm opening my heart and connecting with her. That is good. That is goodness. And those are the things that are going to help heal the world. Yes, there is so much evil in the world. War, the corruption of people that have all of this money and power and that choose to keep us fighting with each other because it's more profitable for them. Those are the kinds of things that I would consider to be evil. And maybe there are people who have no good thing in them, but I also just don't see that either because I just don't know. I just don't know. What do you guys think? I don't have the answers. These are questions I'm asking. And I don't have the answers, but I'm really curious what you guys think. I would love to engage in dialogue. Please comment under the video and let me know what you think.